Call to order the St. Lawrence County Industrial Development Agency.
Mr. Staples,
Here.
Mr. LaBelle,
Here.
Mr. Blevins, Mr. Hall,
Here.
Mr. McMahon, Mr. Morrow, Mr. Reagan.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Public notice was issued October 18th, 2023. Do I hear any public comment? Pat?
Mr. Curran standing.
Mr. Kerr?
Yes, my name is Pat Curran. I went Seaway Timber Harvesting from Renewable Energy in the state of New York. I support this project. And long before this hydrogen idea came to Messina, I was a supporter of hydrogen power. I hope the day comes in the near future that we are running hydrogen power in our Class 8 trucks. Yes, there's going to be some growing pains as we move forward, but it's a very exciting time. And I really appreciate the fact that the IDA has brought their products to St. Lawrence County. Presently, we are doing the clearing for the project in the city of New York right now. And keep up the good work. Thanks.
Thank you for your comments, sir. Do I hear a motion for approval of minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Financial report. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes.
Okay. Just your normal financial report, interest income, gain on investments, new expenditures, ARPA funding. Some audit fees for last year and a retained cost are included in there.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Committee reports.
There are none.
Staff report. Patrick Kelly.
I will point out, we attended the St. Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce Annual Dinner last Wednesday evening. 3 companies were recognized: Adirondack Fragrance and Flavor Farm received the Local Producer of the Year Award. As you know, we've done loans with them and ARPA awards. Coakley True Value or Coakley Hardware received a Customer Service Award. We've provided ARPA assistance to them as well. And Atlantic Testing was named the Business of the Year Award. And I will say, Mary Jean Remington invited us to sit at her table, and in her remarks, she was very kind. I told her what she said was probably 10 years worth of advertising for the IDA. She talked about the business transition loans we provided, the 3 different drilling rigs that we provided assistance for, and was very complimentary, as she always is, gracious about the IDA. So I wanted to pass along that those awardees were there that we've had involvement with. Thursday night, we attended the Cornell Cooperative Extension Annual Dinner, at which we were provided their annual Friend of the Extension Award. So they did a nice set of remarks. I'll defer. Board Member Reagan was at both of these events. Jim, anything you'd comment on at the Cornell?
Patrick Ames, the Executive Director of Cooperative Extension, did a great job of talking about all the different projects that the IDA has been involved in with agriculture. And as many of us are aware, some people really don't realize how much the IDA has done for the agricultural economy in St. Lawrence County, Northern New York. But Patrick Ames did a great job of recounting the number of different kinds of projects that the IDA has been involved in, whether or not you're talking about assisting Cooperative Extension with its projects at the Extension Learning Farm, anaerobic digestion projects at individual farms to produce energy, projects at orchards, at just a host of businesses around Northern New York. And I was very proud to be associated with the IDA. And, you know, I think our Patrick was pleased that Cooperative Extension would, name us a friend of agriculture, But also would go out of his way to point out all the different efforts that we've made to improve the economy for the farms in northern New York, which are great employers, great drivers of our economy.
I'll point out, the St. Lawrence County Arts Council, just so you're aware, is using this room twice a week for their entrepreneur workshop series for arts and artists. The Benson Build Ready Solar Project, we are working with the town of Clifton and the Clifton Central School District, providing them with consent resolutions.
Well, I want to go back to Jim's comment on agriculture. I support agriculture, but not to the tune amount that they're anti-solar panels. We have a difference there. Because the solar, those produce a lot of jobs. We already did a study on that. So I'm glad we're supporting agriculture for the right reasons, but I don't support agriculture if they want to block solar panels, period. And that's no cast on you, Jim.
I wasn't talking about solar panels. I was talking about
No offense taken.
that this board has done, supporting agriculture.
So, thank you. Messina School of Business, we started that process with a kickoff meeting with Dank in the village. Some local outreach, just to make sure people are aware, the BOCES Southwest Tech Center open house was October 17th. We had approximately 20 attendees at that event. The next Business in the Spotlight event with the county chamber is at the Casablanca in Governor on November 17th. And again, a business mixer trying to help bring people together. November 2nd, we'll be at the Fort Drum Career Fair. We attended the North Country Alliance Fall Symposium last week and afterwards provided a tour of the center of the county to some officials from NYSERDA who we're working with on some of these projects. We attended the Canadian Manufacturing and Technology Show in Toronto last month. We'll be attending the Advanced Design and Manufacturing Expo in November in Toronto and Select USA in Montreal in December. And again, this year, we are sponsoring Clarkson and St. Lawrence University hockey with our Come Home, Come Back here, our general ads about the IDA.
Any further discussion? Old business, there being none, new business. Resolution authorizing resolution for air
So
product
move.
and chemicals, Inc.
Second,
Moved and seconded. Discussion.
At this point, before I provide any information, I'd like to invite Trip Oliver, Director of Government Affairs for Air Products, to come up. Mr. Oliver has a presentation for you that Rich will pull up on the screen.
So do you want me to try and share it?
It's, if you can, that would be great. If not, I think it's just so the board members can see it is sufficient.
Yeah, we may go here.
While he's doing that, thanks, Pat. I appreciate the introduction. I'd like to introduce a couple people here with me. Kevin McCall from Bartley Damon is an attorney that's helping us with this project. Lydia Miner with Sustainable PR is also helping us with this project. And also I'd like to say thanks, Pat, thanks for coming and endorsing the project. I appreciate it. Nice seeing you again. Okay.
A little clicker should work.
There we go. All right, I will attempt to be brief so that Ernie can get to his hunting. Just a quick introduction of Air Products. Air Products is the world's leading industrial gas company. We've been in business for about 83 years, founded in Detroit, Michigan, and now currently headquartered in Allentown, Pennsylvania. We have about 21,000 employees around the world. And we are the largest producer of hydrogen in the world and have been producing hydrogen now for over 60 years. We have been in the business of producing liquid hydrogen for that time. And we've been distributing liquid hydrogen around the US for quite some time. And as you can see, although the screen is a little bit blocked, we've been delivering about 15 million miles of trucking of liquid hydrogen around the country from facilities all around North America Most of them are currently in our operations, but as you can see, some of them are still in the process of being developed, including the Messina facility, where we would produce 35 metric tons of liquid hydrogen a day. So Air Products, as I mentioned before, is the world's leading industrial gas company. That is our base business. We view the blue and green hydrogen production as a growth platform for the country, or the company, I should say. And we have been investing heavily in blue and green liquid hydrogen around the world. And as you can see, we have blue and green facilities in various stages of production or development in Edmonton, Alberta, in Arizona, down in Texas, Port Arthur, Texas, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Saudi Arabia, and here in Messina, New York. And just quickly, the differences between blue and green liquid hydrogen. Blue liquid hydrogen is produced using natural gas through a process called steam methane reforming, where under normal circumstances, the carbon dioxide through that process would be vented in the atmosphere. That would be called gray hydrogen. But blue hydrogen, the carbon dioxide is captured and sequestered underground, and that makes it a cleaner hydrogen process. Green hydrogen is produced in an entirely different way. It's produced through electrolysis, water electrolysis, where you run an electric current through water, and it divides the water, which is, as we know, H2O. It divides it into hydrogen and oxygen. And the only emissions from that process is oxygen. So what are we using all this hydrogen for that we're going to be producing over the years? Well, you guys have probably all heard about battery electric vehicles, Teslas, what have you. We believe that the battery electric vehicles are appropriate for passenger vehicles. We do not believe the batteries will be appropriate and work for heavy duty vehicles, whether they be Class 8 trucks, buses, heavy industries, rail, port equipment, what have you. And so we believe that hydrogen fuel cells are the wave of the future for cleaner burning fuels for heavy duty transportation. And in addition, we plan on utilizing hydrogen in heavy industries that are very much carbon intensive currently. They are looking to reduce their carbon footprint, and we believe hydrogen is a way of reducing the carbon footprint of a lot of industries. So the Messina project, as I mentioned, this Messina project is a 35 metric ton a day green liquid hydrogen facility. And just to give you an idea of what 35 metric tons a day mean, if you think about the tanker trucks you see on the road, 35 metric tons a day is about 10 of those trucks a day. And so we would produce that liquid hydrogen using water from the St. Lawrence River and hydropower that we would be purchasing from NYPA. And that hydropower will run the facility. The water, we will use water electrolysis to separate the water into hydrogen and oxygen. The hydrogen will then be gaseous when it's created. It will be piped into a liquefaction process, which cools the hydrogen to very low temperatures, minus 420 plus degrees Fahrenheit. And that liquefies the hydrogen. It will then be stored in tanks on site, and those tanks will be used to fill the trucks that will then deliver the hydrogen throughout the region for mobility applications as well as industrial applications. The environmental benefits of this project is this is really going to help New York achieve its climate goals. And so for this project alone would avoid about 6 million tons of CO2. And if all of the hydrogen from this facility was used, for instance, for trucking, it would displace approximately 600 million gallons of diesel over the life of the project. So this is an artist's rendering of what the site is likely to look like, or at least pretty close to what it's going to look like. And does this thing have a pointer?
It does not.
Okay, so I'm going to start with this. This right here is the truck entrance. So the trucks will come in here, it'll be guarded and gated. There's a weigh station there as well. The trucks come in there. This is the lower left is the terminal building. That's where all the trucks will be maintained and serviced, cleaned, what have you. The smaller building above it is the control building. That's basically the main administrative building. That's the facility where most of the staff on site will be located and where the facility will be run from. Moving forward, it's hidden by the picture there, but the big long building at the top on the right is the water treatment building. So we will take water from the St. Lawrence River. It will be piped into that water treatment building. We will purify that water to then move it into the building above it, which is the electrolysis building. And we will create the hydrogen through electrolysis process using that water. Those pipe racks you see, the gaseous hydrogen will be transported along those pipe racks to that smaller building in the center, which is the liquefaction building. That's the building where the hydrogen will be cooled and turned into a liquid. It will then be stored in those green tanks you see there. And the trucks will then offload the liquid hydrogen from those tanks and deliver it to the region. So this is you can see the star there is where the facility will be located. Basically is give you an idea of, if you're going on Main Street through the center of Messina, you pass Messina Town Hall and you just keep going. We are on the right, just before you hit 131, just past the entrance to the Alcoa facility off of, it's called Pontoon Bridge Road, but I'm told by the people in Messina that it's mostly known as Outer North Main Street. So the trucks that we will be delivering liquid hydrogen with, none of them will go through the center of Messina. They will all come off of 131 to the site, and then we'll take a right turn out of the site and go back up to 131 and take 131 to 37 there, and then distribute the liquid hydrogen throughout the region to customers, you know, probably as far away as New England. The economic benefits is we will have 90 full-time jobs. That bullet is actually dated. It's now, we are now estimating it's probably $105,000 or something like that of average salary and benefits for the jobs on site. The construction is about a 3-year construction period with about 500,000 hours of construction during that 3-year period. We expect that next year, the construction jobs on site will be 100 to 125, and then 2025, you'll see peak construction of about 300 to 350 jobs on site. We will be spending about $2 million per year locally on maintenance. Plus every several years, there's major turnarounds. We would spend an additional $5 million a year locally on that. We are buying power from NYPA to the tune of about $30 million per year. And we'll be spending about $300,000 per year purchasing about up to 1.25 million gallons of water per day from the village of Messina. That water is used both for the electrolysis process and then also cooling the actual operations of the facility. The cooling water, that of which does not get evaporated during that process, would then be returned to the St. Lawrence River and actually will be cleaner than the water that was withdrawn from the St. Lawrence River. I think that about covers most of my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions. And if you have questions specific to the pilot agreement, Kevin is here to answer those.
Question, the other component of water is oxygen. Is that just released into the atmosphere?
Yes.
Or you have no desire to capture that and purify it and use it in other places?
So not surprised. So as I mentioned before, we are an industrial gas company, and one of the industrial gases we do produce is oxygen. And so that has been asked before. As of right now, there's not current plans for us to capture that oxygen and sell it from this site. But if the market presents itself, we would certainly be able to do that.
Yeah, it's one of the few industries that your byproduct of It's good for you.
Yeah, it's just a question of whether or not there's enough demand for oxygen in order to make it economic to do that. All right,
Have you given this kind of presentation to the village, the powers in Messina?
yes,
They've heard this
yes,
and they welcome this, didn't they?
yes, they did.
I think so too.
You were talking about how, this technology is perfect for, trucks, and, other heavy vehicles. I know there's a great deal of concern about school buses here in northern New York. Many of the school superintendents that I talk to are not convinced that electric buses are the way to go. And I hope that your company will advocate in Albany to make them aware that your technology is perfect for this effort on their part to find new sources of energy for school buses, because we have a lot of school buses. And it would be wonderful if we could have their energy source be from a cutting edge industry right here in St. Lawrence County. And I just want to say that I'm very pleased that your company chose to come here to Northern New York, bring new jobs, bring $500 million in investment. I'm quite convinced that over the next decade, we'll see a lot more investment here. And hopefully, if your technology becomes more popular, which I think it will, we'll see even more growth here in northern New York. And St. Lawrence County's industrial history has been like with the aluminum industry from the very beginning, capitalizing on our power resources and our St. Lawrence River. And in a time when so many other parts of the country are suffering from water shortages and blackouts and other problems, this region has a lot to offer. And we're very grateful to you guys that you have seen and recognized what we have to offer here.
Thank you, thank you.
One other thing.
Yes, sir.
It's not only the permanent jobs I see, but I know a lot of our union, get upset, but the union construction. I see a lot of work for labor in that that's going to be very popular in the Messina, the whole North Country. Hoping to be all of the people from Northern New York as the contractors, not from New Jersey or Tennessee or some other state.
Your cutting edge technology is incredible. But what I really like to see is it's cutting edge, but it's not, you've done this successfully in other locations. So this is not something, there's a proven business model here that you're utilizing instead of trying to develop it here.
Yeah, I mean, we've been producing liquid hydrogen, like I said, for 60 years. And we've been distributing it for 60 years. I would say the only thing that's relatively new is the way in which the hydrogen is produced.
Yeah, and just to continue, is there a way we could get this presentation on our website so people could see that? I think that might be helpful.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Plus, we can tell everybody this is not an experiment. This is a real company doing real business. That helps a lot too.
Yeah.
By the way, to your point, I had a meeting with the superintendent of Messina Rockford a couple weeks ago. And the topic of school buses came up, and we're definitely going to help them in any way we can to convince the state to that that's the way to go when it comes to school zero emission school buses is hydrogen fuel cells. So we're working with them on that.
And please enlist the support of our state legislators so they can help carry the message to their colleagues as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, the resolution has been moved and seconded.
Call the question.
Is there any further discussion?
Thank you.
Thanks, Pat. Appreciate
Just
it.
a
Thank you.
highlight, 90 jobs, you're providing a sales and use tax exemption, a real estate tax abatement through a pilot. We have our consent process has been taken. The public hearing was held in Messina. This is a 20-year pilot with a base value plus a $29 million starting value with an abatement starting at 95%, that then decreases by 5% over the 20-year term. I'll point out the property itself right now is assessed at $55,000. So it generates approximately $1,800 in property taxes. The first year of the pilot, that will be $47,000 plus whatever that base value. So ultimately, as this pilot moves forward, in 4 years, it'll be paying 100 times what that property was generating. In 10 years, it'll be 265 times what that property was generating.
How much is that?
So at 10 years, the payment will be $475,000. And then at the end of the pilot, it'll be $950,000 plus the base value on the property.
What I would like, because I spend a lot of time in Messina, I'd like a sheet of paper with the highlights that I can use as speaking. Sure. If you could do that for me, that'd be very helpful to sell this
Yep.
program all over.
One of the highlights, Tripp mentioned the wage level. It's at the projected wage levels in the project. They are 47% higher than our median household income. So in terms of the wages, Tripp mentioned, these are good jobs. There's 90 of them. I will point out to you, between the IDA and our affiliated development corporations, we have approximately 107 active projects right now. The total project value of those projects is about $550 million. So in terms of scale for how big of a project this is a big project. This is the biggest one this IDA has ever undertaken. I talked a little bit in my staff report about some of the quality local companies. You could add Current Renewable Energy to that list. You can add Corning, you can add Arconic, Alcoa, the colleges and universities. We have a host of great employers, some of whom are known worldwide. I think adding Air Products to that list is certainly going to be beneficial, and we are very excited about the project.
And I'd just like to add, thank you to you and the staff here at the IDA for your efforts to help bring this project to fruition in our county.
Thank you, and we'd be remiss. Tripp mentioned in his report, the New York Power Authority providing the hydropower. They have been an outstanding partner through this project development process, which has been going on. New York State in general has been very helpful with the project. So thank you on behalf of the staff as well, but also good reminder that we've had lots of help with this.
Is there any further discussion congratulating people? A motion to vote, call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Next resolution. Approving the fiscal year
So move.
24 final budget. Move, do I hear a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion.
The only change from the tentative budget is we updated some of the ARPA numbers that we have. The rest were pretty consistent, and the budget's ready to go.
Any further discussion? Call the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes unanimously. That's only 4 people there. Resolution authorizing allocations through the St. Lawrence County American Rescue Plan Act,
So
ARPA,
move.
Economic Development Tourism Funding Program. And it's moved.
I want to comment on this one.
Yes,
I don't think that a lot of people in St. Lawrence County realize the good this program has done for some of our people in this county. They don't understand what this means and who's getting it. Some people think it's a loan, it's not a loan, it's a grant, whatever you want to call it. But it's done a hell of a lot of good things to save jobs and save businesses in this county. And I applaud this, and I do love Biden. And I appreciate him putting this in effect, but really it's done a lot of wonderful things.
You're thanking everybody.
Call the question.
Presidential. I just want to point out to you, 7 awards on here. You have the list. You'll note to Ernie's point, we have now funded $1 million in
Right.
facility and infrastructure improvements through this program. We're working with Jim's committee on
More to come.
discussions on how we can maybe replenish some of these categories. So hopefully more to follow.
It's been
Well,
moved.
I bring up this point because I went to a Democratic dinner the other night. And we were having discussion. Most of the people aren't even aware of this. And this is what I thought, well, maybe we should tell people more what we're doing. But I don't think they realize what is being done to help the county in the North Country.
You've told them.
We've gotten good coverage on the program. Our reporter has
If you're not
covered.
a Yankee fan, you don't want to read the paper anymore.
Maybe we can get a news reporter to do a story from Channel 7.
He's done a great job of covering.
Yes, he has.
It has been moved and seconded and discussed. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Is there a need for an executive session?
There is not.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So move.
We're adjourned.